Forgiveness and Restoration. Title: 70 times 7, inspired by Matthew chapter 18 verse 22. At the EveryWhere, USA post office, Miss Lillian worked beside a man who had once spoken cruelly of her, and though months had passed, the sting lingered. Yet one morning, as she sorted mail and whispered to him, she remembered the words of Jesus, "I say not unto thee, until 7 times, but, until 70 times 7. She sighed, prayed for strength, and walked to his counter with a smile. Forgiveness did not erase what had been said, but it freed what had been bound, and by closing the wound in her heart, she opened a door for his healing too. Title: The Father Ran, inspired by Luke chapter 15 verse 20. On the outskirts of town, a broken-hearted father named Mr. Hale watched the road each evening, hoping for the return of his estranged son. The neighbors said it was useless, but he kept the porch light burning. One night he saw a familiar figure in the distance, and before he knew it, he was running, tears blurring his sight. He embraced his son, just as the father in the parable did, whispering, "Welcome home." And in that dusty street of EveryWhere, USA, the sound of forgiveness was louder than shame, and love wrote the final word. Title: Restored Like New, inspired by Psalm chapter 23 verse 3. Every Sunday morning, Deacon Morris polished the old church pews that had once been cracked and faded. Years ago, he had been just like them, worn down by guilt and mistakes, but one day he read, "He restoreth my soul," and it became the song of his redemption. As he wiped away the dust, he prayed for the same restoration in every person who sat there. By the time the doors opened for service, sunlight poured through the stained glass, and both the pews and the man who restored them shone with quiet grace. Title: The Gift of Letting Go, inspired by Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. Janelle held a letter she could never send, an apology from her sister who had long since moved away. The pain was deep, but so was the call of Scripture, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. She knelt beside her bed and whispered through tears, "I forgive her, Lord." The words felt small at first, but they grew, filling the room with peace. By morning she placed the letter beneath her Bible, no longer a wound, but a testimony of freedom. Title: Beauty for Ashes, inspired by Isaiah chapter 61 verse 3. Where an old building once burned on Maple Street, the town gathered to plant a garden. Children dug the soil, elders watered the ground, and Pastor Reuben prayed aloud, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes. From ruin came rows of flowers, and from sorrow came songs of praise. EveryWhere, USA, learned that God does not discard what is broken, He rebuilds it into something glorious. As the sun set over the blossoms, the scent of grace drifted through the air, soft and everlasting.